The snow had been falling since morning, slow and quiet, covering the valley like a white blanket that hid both beauty and danger. The cowboy had learned long ago that silence in winter was never peace, it was a warning. His horse slowed as he approached the old fence line, the same fence that had marked the edge of his land for years. That was when he heard it. A small voice, weak, almost swallowed by the wind. "Sir, please," the cowboy froze. He dismounted, boots sinking into the snow, and followed the sound. Near the fence, a little boy stood trembling, his hands clasped together as if praying. His cheeks were red with cold, his clothes thin and worn. Behind him, slumped against the wooden fence, lay a woman. She wasn't sleeping. He knew that immediately. Her eyes were open, unfocused, her body unnaturally still. The boy looked up at the cowboy, fear and hope battling in his eyes. Then he whispered the words that would echo in the cowboy's heart forever. "Mama can't walk anymore." The cowboy knelt down, eye level with the child, forcing his voice to stay calm. He asked how long they'd been there. The boy didn't know. He only knew his mama told him to keep talking so she wouldn't fall asleep. The cowboy removed his coat and wrapped it around the boy, then turned his attention to the woman. She was alive, but barely. Her lips were blue, her breathing shallow. Hypothermia. Maybe worse. Without hesitation, the cowboy lifted her into his arms. She was light. Too light. Hunger and cold had carved her down to almost nothing. He looked at the boy. "Hold on to me," he said. And the boy did. The walk to the cabin felt longer than any ride he'd ever taken. Snow bit into his legs, wind burned his lungs, but he didn't stop. Not once. Inside the cabin, warmth rushed to meet them. Fire crackled as he laid the woman on his bed, wrapping her in blankets. The boy stood silently, watching every move. The cowboy brewed soup, warmed water, rubbed life back into frozen hands. Hours passed. Night settled in. The woman stirred slightly. The boy finally sat, exhaustion claiming him, his head resting on the edge of the bed. Before sleep took him, he whispered, "Please don't send us away." The cowboy looked at them, two souls, abandoned by the world, and something inside him broke open. He whispered back, "You're safe here." And for the first time that night, the storm outside began to quiet. If this story has touched your heart already, stay with us. Stories like this remind us why kindness still matters. Consider subscribing so you never miss them. Morning light filtered through the frosted window, pale and hesitant. The cowboy hadn't slept. He sat in the chair near the bed, listening to the woman's breathing, steady now but fragile. The boy stirred awake, eyes snapping open in panic, until he saw the cabin around him. Warmth, safety. The cowboy handed him a cup of milk. The boy drank like he hadn't eaten in days. Slowly, pieces of their story came out. They had been traveling for weeks. The boy's father had died months earlier. No family would take them in. Towns turned them away. Winter caught them on the road. The woman tried to keep walking even after her legs failed her. Pride had nearly killed her. By midday, the woman finally woke. Her eyes widened when she saw the cowboy. Fear flickered, fear she'd learned from a hard world, but the boy took her hand. "Mama, he saved us." Tears slipped from her eyes as she tried to sit up. Pain stopped her. The cowboy gently told her not to move. He spoke softly, respectfully, as if afraid loud words might shatter her. Days passed. The woman's strength returned slowly. The boy followed the cowboy everywhere, mimicking his steps, asking endless questions. Laughter returned to the cabin, timid at first, then real. One evening, as snow fell again, the woman confessed she had expected to die by that fence. She said she had prayed only that her son would survive. The cowboy listened, jaw tight. He had lived alone for years, convinced solitude was easier than loss. But now, every empty corner of the cabin felt wrong without them. When the woman finally stood on her own, supported by the boy, she cried, not from pain but relief. The cowboy stepped outside, hiding his emotions in the cold air. He realized something frightening and beautiful. He didn't want them to leave. If you believe second chances can change lives, this channel is for you. Subscribe to be part of stories that heal the heart. Spring arrived slowly, melting snow and fear alike. The woman regained her strength fully, helping around the cabin, her laughter now free instead of cautious. The boy called the cowboy uncle at first, then stopped correcting himself when Papa slipped out. One afternoon, the woman stood at the fence where she had nearly died. The cowboy joined her. She told him she had planned to leave once she was strong enough, not because she wanted to, but because she didn't want to be a burden. The cowboy shook his head. "You already belong here," he said. The boy ran between them, arms outstretched, claiming them both. That night, the cowboy realized something simple and profound. Family wasn't blood or history. It was who carried you when you couldn't walk anymore. The cabin that once echoed with loneliness now held life, purpose, and love. And somewhere beyond the fence, the world kept turning, unaware that 3 broken lives had been stitched together by one act of kindness. Stories like this remind us that compassion can rewrite destiny. If this journey moved you, subscribe and stay. There are many more stories waiting to be told.